So we're going to be taking a look at BIM 360 Design, which includes Revit Cloud Work Sharing and the Design Collaboration module. And essentially what this does is allow you to, for those of you who work on a central model or use work sharing, it allows you to put that model into the cloud and then allow external access to that model essentially. But as always, it's important to note here that your data sits on document management, and then we can use the two additional modules that you get, applications that you get within design to control that a lot better. So if I flick over to Google Chrome now, again, first of all, we're inside of document management, and what I've got in here is a Revit file uploaded to the system. And this file is actually a central model. It's just sitting inside of BIM 360 document management at the moment. And because I've made it a central model in the cloud, if I go into Revit and I say File, Open a project, I've got this BIM 360 plugin here. And this essentially is the Revit Cloud Work Sharing part. So it's connecting Revit to BIM 360 document management to host that central model in the cloud. And we still get all of our usual Collaborate tab options, work sets, and we can synchronize with Central. So it works in exactly the same way as if you use Revit Server or just have a central model sitting on an internal network, but it then opens up all of the other functionality that BIM 360 offers. So if we go back into document management at the moment, if you have watched the BIM 360 document management video, you'll be able to see that we can control access at the folder level here. And then we can do some markups and comments and things like that on the file. So if you can imagine you're working on that central model, we can add users internal or externally to this area, which will allow them to access and work on if they want this central model. So we're all working in the same place. And to add to that functionality, if we go to the menu in the top left-hand side, we have this Design Collaboration module. And what this does is it allows you to view all of your design models in a kind of a federated environment, not quite the same as model coordination, it's slightly different, but this will allow you to pull all of those different design files together and view them in a web browser. So this is particularly useful if you're if you need somebody who hasn't got access to Revit to walk around the model and be able to review the file before it goes out the door. And there's a couple of other additional functionalities in here which are very useful. We can create packages, so points in time, to then be able to send to other design team members. So for example, if I'm an architect, I'm working on a project with a M&E designer, a structural engineer. We can all store our models inside of BIM 360, and we can all link each other's models in Revit from BIM 360. But this portal essentially allows some control before that information goes out the door. So what is your work in progress, which is what you as the Revit user is working on, you don't want everybody else to see that as soon as you hit save or as soon as you hit sync to central. What you do as a secondary step is you synchronize with central, then you come into here and you create what's called a package, which then essentially creates a point in time of your data, which then anybody else can come in and what's called consume that data and then use it as an external reference in Revit. So it's a very powerful way to control who has access to what information, but also enable a streamlined approach to working on the same model or models, let's say. And there's some additional functionality in here. So when we receive a new package, for example, we can review it. We can first of all see the changes to that package. So if I say this package here, let's do show changes. Just like in document management, it will show me anything that's been modified in yellow, anything that's been added in green, and anything that's been removed in red. And before I'm happy to allow that piece of data to be used as an external reference in my Revit file, I can just review it in here first of all. And that then means that non-Revit users can review that first. If you have a manager or somebody who has to approve information before it's used, they can come in here and review that prior to any Revit users using it. So it's a really powerful way to collaborate with other users on a project, really, in a controlled environment, but allowing you to get feedback and have other people review the data who don't have Revit or AutoCAD or any kind of design application. They can view it within a web browser, which just makes life easier in terms of having to create sort of PDFs or DWFX or Navisworks files and install viewers on their machines. It can all be done via a web browser, and we can all be working on the same information.